All right, what's up, guys? We are back. We are back in all kinds of form with a huge Blu-ray update. It's been a while. It's been way too long. I didn't do one for April. It's now the end of May. I think even I did a combined one for February and March, and it was very mediocre from what I remember. We got some titles. It's been a while. I think JB Hi-Fi obviously backed off from the deals after this kind of COVID pandemic stuff started happening. So I assume that's why the deals were lesser. So it really hasn't been many deals. I think they only had 120% off in the last couple of months, and there was nothing happening when that, you couldn't combine it with any of the deals. So in the end, it wasn't that big of a deal. So I was excited to see the buy one get one free happen at JB Hi-Fi. Yeah, that's right. Buy one and you get another one free, which basically means half price on doubles. So if you buy any even number, you're gonna get half price. That's facts, and it's pretty damn good. I was excited about this deal. Before I get into, make sure you do follow me on Instagram. It is at @astavies, the same name as the channel. I am uploading reviews there now. If you guys were interested in my reviews, you can go to the Instagram as well, as I talk about TV stuff, new stuff, whatever I want to talk about. It's there. But let's get into it. So what I did, I think I spent $150 on 15 titles, so it ended up being $30 Blu-rays that I got, two for the 30 basically, with this buy one get one free. I think I bought 10, and then I got a gift card from my brother who I gave me, I think it was a $50 gift card, so I picked up another couple. I think I picked up another four. So I had that as well as a random one my dad got me, and then a Steelbook. So we're chilling, we're good. We'll start off with Annabelle Comes Home. This one I didn't hate. I think it's better than the first Annabelle. It's definitely more ridiculous than any of the Annabelles, but it's not as good as the second one. It's pretty much, it's probably the most over the top, like different, Conjuring verse movie I've seen. I was excited for Conjuring 3, but that's looking like it's going to be delayed. So unlucky, but moving on, we've got Doctor Sleep. I love this movie. I thought this movie is terrific. I think it was on like top 5 of my last year's list. Maybe I would have dropped a couple spots depending on how it worked out with Parasite and Ford vs Ferrari, the couple of movies I watched after the end of last year. But this was definitely one of the best of last year. I think it's something different that you don't always see. It's kind of, it is a sequel. It is a reimagining of sorts of something, that already existed, but it was something different. You don't see that kind of movie lately, and this is really, really good. I definitely recommend if you haven't seen it. I also recommend if you haven't seen The Shining. Not even that they're just similar movies. I think it's obviously there's some fan service moments. You're like, all right, cool. But just this movie in general, I think honestly you could probably watch that one and not even watch The Shining. Like it's not, hey, you get the basis. They give you kind of a rundown of why he's this way now that he's an adult, but you don't necessarily have to have watched The Shining. I think this can almost stand on alone, which is a phenomenal thing. We got Zombieland at double tap. One of my favorite movies of all time is Zombieland, and the sequel actually lived up to the hype, which was different. Honestly, I don't think the expectations were crazy high, because generally when you do a sequel, 10 years later, people are going to be like, all right, they're just forcing it out for money. But this is actually a good flick. It's funny. It's just over the top. It's ridiculous with that same core forecast. That's a lot of fun. Speaking of Parasite, this movie did not make my list last year because I hadn't seen it. If you guys had seen my best of the decade list, watch it. It's on here. I would have made top 5 for sure on last year's list. This movie was really damn good. I got a couple of fuzz on there. Get that over there. It's really, really good. For a foreign film to grip me is something that I haven't really experienced, much, if any. So this is probably definitely the best foreign film I've ever seen, because I've only seen a handful of foreign films through the entirety of it. It's really good. Something different. I liked it. Ford versus Ferrari. This is pretty good. Now, I had huge expectations going in, though, because I did not see it in theaters. Unfortunately, I kind of just didn't get the timing either. Any of my friends couldn't go and see it, whatever. So I waited, and I ended up seeing it to make sure it was, on my list, if it was that good of being the best of the decade. It wasn't quite as good as I was expecting. Not because it's a bad movie. It's still a really good movie. But people were talking about it like, yo, this is amazing. This is the best movie of the year. This is awesome. It isn't. It's still one of the best movies. It's probably in that 4, 5, 6, 7 range of my list if I was to put it in there. But it's not a top 3 movie of the year like people were saying it would be. And it's still a really good movie. It's really well acted, really well directed. I think James Mangold did this one. Obviously Matt Damon, Christian Bale. But unfortunately, just because people were talking about like it's a 10 out of 10, it's an A+ movie, it didn't quite there. It was still maybe, like a B+. Maybe even an A, I don't even know, but people talking about like, this is one of the greatest movies ever. So, another one was probably maybe the most. Oh, there you go. There's another one that's newer, but this is one of the closest things to a new release I've got. Like this is one my dad got because he wanted a Steelbook of 1917, and he's like, "Oh, I might as well get another one." And he wanted to watch The Gentleman because I really hyped it up, and he just gave it to me. Basically, I said, "I'm taking it." So stuff up because he doesn't have a collection or anything. So I'm like, "I'm having this in my collection." But it's really good. It still holds up. I rewatched it. It's awesome. I remember really, really liking it in the cinemas. That's why I kind of hyped it up to my dad. He really liked it. My mum kind of found out it was a bit hard to follow at times, which I understand because it is kind of a long, convoluted story. So I understand if you're not into the movie, you can easily fall behind. But I was enjoying it for sure. The next one is the only Steelbook I have. This one I did not get from JB Hi-Fi. JB Hi-Fi's Steelbook selection at the moment is trash. They have maybe 4 newer release ones. They have a couple of oldies, but I think they have 1917 Bad Boys, and then they had like Rise of Skywalker and Birds of Prey. And I was like, all right, well, cool. Birds of Prey and Rise of Skywalker went out like with a week before this deal started, and then 1917, I was like, look, I'm not too fast. I don't love the Steelbook, and I've already got Bad Boys, so I'll just get it. I ended up picking this one for like $25 anyway off eBay. Bad Boys for life. This was surprisingly funny, surprisingly good. There's the inside for you. Looking good. This is a 4K. The one thing I love about the Steelbooks nowadays is that they are 4K, so I don't feel bad about paying the 4K prices because I'm paying the Steelbook prices. So it works out. This is a dope Steelbook as well. I really like the colouring of the whole lot. And that movie is like just a solid addition to the Bad Boys franchise. I'm not like a huge Bad Boys. Like I'm not like, yo, Bad Boys are great all the time. I think they're good. They're fun. That one was a lot of fun as well. Good Boys continues to show that you can do kiddie adult films. I think when you do something where you're like, let kids be kids, it works. And again, not kids, like teenagers, preteen, 13, 14-year-olds. Like, don't give me like the teen boppy ones that don't know anything. Give me the ridiculous ones. And this movie showed really funny, really funny. I remember seeing this with my guy Taser. He's been on the channel before. Taylor, he was in, I think, the superhero trivia video. Superhero trivia? No, superhero. He was in the superhero. What do we call it? Draft video. And we watched it together as well as his girlfriend, and we just pissed ourselves. Like, it was really, really funny, really, really good. Again, it was just a solid comedy. For me, for the most part, my comedy grades are C- below average comedy, C average comedy, and C plus is a good comedy. Because realistically, it's hard to get anywhere below or above, because if you're below, you have to tell a really, really bad story as well as really, really bad jokes. And if you get above, you have to do something more than just be a joke maker. You know what I mean? Like, you got to make something, either have really good moments, emotional moments, good acting, whatever, good story, whatever it may be. It's hard. That movie I gave a B-, so that shows that it kind of did extend it. Another B- I gave was Ready or Not. This movie is ridiculous. It's over the top. It's crazy, but it's funny and it's good, and it's one of those horror comedies where it makes like the right mix of those movies, and I'm like, all right, I can get behind this. Moving on, we have Frozen 2. This one, I really was surprised because Frozen, I'm a big fan of myself. I think it got overplayed by all these little kids, which is fair enough. Do your thing. I'm sure I would have been overplaying Aladdin if I was, watched it in the theaters when I was 5 or 6 years old as well. So it's really good. It's really good. It's surprisingly kept close enough to the original. We're like, this is a good sequel. I think I gave it a B. It was good. It kept emotions in there, kept a good story. So I'm very surprised that they managed to keep as good with high expectations from the kids. There were some moments where I'm like, I don't know if the kids would even follow this. This is a bit maybe too convoluted for this 7-year-old's brain, but whatever. Another one, Jumanji, The Next Level. I just realized the Blu-ray is slightly cracked, which is annoying, but this was surprisingly good as well. Every Jumanji movie has been surprisingly good. The first one obviously set the precedent. This is what Jumanji is. The next one, like, Rock is in the world Jumanji. I'm like, all right, here we go. Surprisingly good. The next one, surprisingly good. This one sticks to being as funny as the first one. They are so close. I think when it comes to Jumanji, we'll just go Welcome to the Jungle. The first, aka the second one, the first remake, the first Dwayne Johnson one. This one, they're just so close. They're basically just like, I'm not even going to choose because they're basically the same thing. If you liked the first one, you like this one. If you didn't like the first one, you won't like this one. And when I say the first one, I mean the newer ones. I hate calling them Jumanji 3 and 2 and shit because they're different. Like, they are the same, but they're different. Moving on, Jojo Rabbit. This is another one that I think came out in December. I believe this is actually after I made my list. I think this is 2019 film, so it would have been on my list, I think, if I saw it, because I hadn't seen it yet. This is just great writing. Like, that's flat out what it is. It's great acting, it's funny, but it's great writing. Like, this, Taika Waititi kills it. The direction of writing is phenomenal. It's something so creative and weird and awesome, and just seeing someone do something like that is really cool. Moving on, 1917. This is one of the best shot films ever. This is really, really good cinematography. It's just one long shot in essence. Obviously not, they take cuts so they can do shit, whatever, but they make it seem like it's just one long thing that happens, which I think is really awesome. Great action, great storytelling, and great visuals. Moving on, we have the only blind buy, because I just wanted one blind buy, so I bought Little Women. Why not? No idea what I'm going to think about this movie. For some reason, I was like, yeah, I really, really want to watch this movie. So, I like the cast: Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh, Emma Watson. I think Meryl Streep's in there as well. It's a good cast. I'm weirdly interested without saying anything. I haven't seen the books or anything like that, so I'm weirdly interested. Moving on, we have Knives Out. This is another one I think is really, really good. I think a lot of people got backlash because of like Rian Johnson. Like, oh, if it's not good, it's Rian Johnson. Man, just because he did Last Jedi, I don't mean shit. Like, he made a really good film. This is really, really good with a really good cast. It's a complete different throw on the whodunit, which I liked. And it's funny at times. It does everything right. I really enjoyed that movie. The cast definitely help it as well. And finishing off, we have Toy Story 4, the newest Toy Story. I think somehow they managed to. They never drop off. Like, I think there's a ranking system, right? Everyone's ranking is different. There's not like a Star Wars, original trilogy. For the most part, people, it's like, it's 5, it's 4, then it's 6. That's how most people think. Or, whatever it may be, it's different things have different rankings. Like, there's the definitive things. People are like, oh, this is the worst Star Wars movie, or this is the worst Indiana Jones film, or this is the worst Godfather. There is no worst Toy Story film. No one has a definitive ranking. 1, 2, 3, and even 4 now, I think, are just so on the same level where it's like, anyone's favorite can be anything, anyone's least favorite can be anything, and no one can get mad unless you're saying it's a bad film, because it's just so damn close with everything. I think they managed to make a perfect ending with 3 and then somehow add on to it, make it another perfect ending. So that's one thing to do. It's a great kids film, and that's going to cap off all my new release, or semi-new release, Blu-rays. There it is, guys. That is the whole... for what month is it now? Jeez. It's May. It's hard to keep on track of months and times and dates when nothing's happening in the world right now. So, that is it, guys. No Blu-ray update from last month. I just got the Scrubbers box set. There's been no Blu-ray deals. I think even the months before I got barely anything. It was good to get a bunch of titles finally. JB Hi-Fi hooking up with that buy one, get one free, which was literally all the supply here. So, I was very excited when I saw that deal. If you guys noticed, there hasn't been any consistency of the channel as of late. It was every Thursday. Now it's pretty much going to be a channel where I upload when I want to upload. It's going to be the point where if I don't upload a week, one in a week, I don't upload one in a week. If I upload multiple in a week, I might upload multiple in a week. I'm really just kind of vibing out and seeing whatever I feel like doing. I think trying to build up a consistency of being like, hey, this is when something's coming out, hasn't really worked. So I'm just going to put it up. If the video's there, if you guys like the video, go and find that video. For this video, make sure you do give it a thumbs up. It goes a long way. Comment below if you like any of the movies, your thoughts on any of these movies. Whatever you want to talk about below, I'd be happy to oblige. Make sure you do subscribe. I'm trying to keep building it up. I've got a few ideas up in the old Mindscape, but with less news and movie releases, it does make it hard. That's kind of why I kind of backed away from the weekly videos. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.